Anuma Gaurachandra Falguni, Krishna Mohini, Lavanya Moyi, Rasananda, Krishna Chaitanya, Devashis. Devashis, are you going to be in London when I arrive?
Yes, Maharaj, I will.
Okay, because I think Sachi leaves Friday, doesn't she?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know Sachi was going.
Not Sachi.
Saraswati and Anjali and Devananda, they leave tomorrow, Thursday.
Saraswati, Devananda, and Anjali?
Yes.
Okay.
Tungarasa also, she'll meet them in Doha.
Who?
Tungarasa from Norway.
I don't think I know Sundarasa.
Tungarasa, she's on the Zooms often.
Oh, Tungarasa.
Yes.
Okay.
Saraswati might log in, but she's with Anjali just getting some last minute shopping. Take with them.
Well, there's something that says SCS Mott, West London, but
yes.
That's
Dandavats Maharaj, Dandavats.
Krishna Gopal.
Dandavats.
Devananda and
Radharani.
Yeah.
Okay. Dandavad. So I'm also getting things together. I'm going to be leaving in 1 week, so next Wednesday. But I saw on the calendar today is Bhakti, the disappearance of Bhakti Premik Siddhanti Maharaj.
Yes.
So, Siddhanti Maharaj, of course, that's related to us, but Siddhanti Maharaj was very dear to Srila Govinda Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj said, anybody who wants to learn about Krishna Bhakti, about Guru Bhakti, can take the dust from Siddhanti Maharaj's lotus feet. So he was somebody who was very surrendered to Srila Govinda Maharaj, and very special person in a sense. He was something of an avadut, you might say. Anyway, in his remembrance, I'll offer my Dandavat pranams.
Right.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, Maharaj, I have a question.
All right.
Well, not a question. I just want you to please guide me through the whole incarnation thing about Rasahadev and how he became, the king, and then Avadut Maharaj and all that. No Avadut, the Avadut. What is the name of the one with the deer that became later the Avadut? Well, he is the same person, isn't it?
Sepala bola, no sé exactamente de qué estás hablando.
Rasahadev, the incarnation of the Lord, he was born later again as the king who fell in love with the deer. Oh, I am confusing.
You're confusing me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Rasahadev is an incarnation of the Lord.
He is. Where are you reading?
I was reading a commentary on the 11th chapter of the 11th canto. So I thought that I was following how the Rasahadev was teaching lessons in different periods.
Well, I haven't read that condensed version, and I can't really answer the question because I don't really know that. I don't really know about Sahadev, etc.
No Sahadev, Rasahadev.
Huh?
Oh, Richard Dave.
Yes,
Ri-
Rishabh.
The only thing I know about Rishabh Dev is in the 5th canto. Rishabh Dev's teachings to his sons.
Yes, exactly. That is been mentioned again in the 11th canto. So in the commentary was like what I understood is that he was born again just to show different aspects of the way and that he was actually the king. That's what I understood, but I might be completely wrong. That he was the king who fell in love with the deer, and then he was
So he
born
was
again.
Okay, he was reincarnated as a beard. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. I kind of would. I mean, that's all interesting, and I'm not minimizing the Srimad Bhagavatam, but I kind of prefer to answer questions that are intelligible, that will help people understand about devotion. And I don't know about Rishabh Dev and his incarnations and teachings. I know I've read his teachings in the 5th canto, and to be honest, I've read parts of the 11th canto, the 12th canto, the 10th canto. I've read more of the 10th canto, but I'm not really to be honest, I haven't read that, so I can't answer that question. So it's a very good question, but next.
Dandavats Maharaj.
Okay.
I wanted to ask a question. It's I read it in Shiv Guru and His Grace, where it was, I think, referring to Chaitanya Charitamrita, where they were giving a story about someone reading Srimad Bhagavatam and doing a translation of it, or doing the purpose for it. And one of the purpose was a little bit, I don't know. So basically, they went to the Shiva temple to figure out what Shiva will say, and he said that, well, I know the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadev knows the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam, but Vyasudev maybe or maybe not. So could you maybe elaborate on this?
Yeah, that's famous. That's quote is a quote that Guru Maharaj gives. He says, let me see. Just looking. Do you know where can you tell me the page or show me the exact quote? I know that quote, or read it, just read it to me.
Aham Beti, Shuka Beti, Vyasa Beti, Naveti Va is the verse, isn't it?
Okay, so that means I know, and Sukadeva Goswami may know, and Vedavyas, he may or may not know. And it's you would think about the meaning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which would seem to be a little abstruse in the sense that Vedavyas, he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, or he compiled it. So you would think, well, how is it that Sukadeva Goswami, he may know Shiva, he knows, Shiva knows the meaning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Vedavyas may know or may not know. So, well, I think it gives, and yet we see that Vedavyas is a literary incarnation of the Lord. So how is it that who is the compiler of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he may or may not know what is actually being presented there? And how would I explain it? I would just say that when we speak, there are we may become inspired in such a way that that knowledge or understanding of that knowledge may flow through us through inspiration. And we may or may not have realization of what is coming through us. But in the case of Lord Shiva, Sukadeva Goswami, I mean, you're talking about actual persons. I don't know if they're formally in the list of Mahajans, but they are certainly Mahajans in their understanding of the intricacies of devotional service. You know, I know there are incarnations of Lord Shiva, which are leader of the demons, etc. But I'm not talking about that aspect of Lord Shiva. I'm talking about Lord Shiva's in terms of his his full theistic understanding. I think we could say it in that way. That are they? I don't know who's. Do you have the list of Mahajans? Let me see that. Let's see, Mahajans here. The Mahajans, Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, and I, Yamaraj, myself know the real religious principles. So, I mean, there you can see on that list is, let's see, Brahma, Narayana, Shiva. You can see Shiva and Sukadeva Goswami is on that list.
That's your choice. I think you should wear some trousers, it's easier.
I can't, you have to speak more clear. I mean, you're not near, you've got to get closer to the microphone.
It's up to you.
Who's speaking now? All right, is that you, Lavanya?
Sorry, Marsha, I didn't realize my microphone was on.
Okay. All right. So we see Lord Shiva as a Mahajan. We see Sukadeva Goswami, the Mahajan. I don't see Vedavyas on that list. Do you see him as a Mahajan? Do you see the list of Mahajans, anyone? Or only I looked it up?
Yeah, he's not listed in the 12.
But Sukadeva Goswami and Lord Shiva are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just came to mind, that these are persons who are really of deep understanding. Lord Shiva and Sukadeva Goswami. Even though Sukadeva Goswami, we can say he spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam in the presence of Parikshit Maharaj. And Lord Shiva, I mean, Lord Shiva is one of the four original preceptors of Vaishnava Sampradayas. There's the Rudra Sampradaya. The Brahma Sampradaya, he's also on Mahajan. Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra, then the Kumaras, and Brahma, Rudra, the Shivas, Brahma, well, Rudra is Shiva, Brahma, Rudra, then Kumaras. What's the fourth sampradaya?
The Sri Sampradaya.
Lakshmi Sampradaya. So I mean, Lord Shiva he's one of the original preceptors of a Vaishnava Sampradaya. I mean, Lord Brahma's, I believe he's listed as a Mahajan. He sometimes becomes confused and does things a little differently. And I mean, twice he was an illusion when he, one when he stole the calves and cowherd boys, and another when he went to Dwarka and he asked, and it was confused and asked the Lord, how many, or is there more than one Brahma? But be that as it may, I mean, that's not a discussion right now. We're not talking about Brahma. We're talking about this quote that I know, and Sukha Deva Goswami knows, and Vyasadeva, he may or may not know. That's the rough translation, right, of the Sanskrit. So the question is, what's meant by that? And what's meant by that is, just because Veda Vyas is the compiler, and you can even say presenter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, is that I believe that statement is saying that he may not understand everything that's flowing through him. So can we think of a comparable situation? I'd like to read, I mean, let me just get Sri Gaurana's grace. So what chapter is that? Hello?
Maharaj, I'm sorry, I don't know what chapter it is. I just do it by memory.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's a very beautiful point that Srila Guru Maharaj makes. I'd like to get it right. You know where it is? Okay. Give me the quote and I'll just look it up. Devashis?
All right. Yeah, the verse is Aham Veti, Sukha Veti,
Okay.
Vyasa Veti.
Sukoveti. Okay. So, Ham veti, Sukho veti, Vyaso veti, na veti va, Bhaktya Bhagavatan Grayam, na Buddha nacha Tikaya. Lord Shiva said, I may know, Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, may know, and Vyasadeva may know or may not know the Srimad Bhagavatam. On the whole, Srimad Bhagavatam, the spotless Purana, can be learned only through devotional service, not by material intelligence, speculative methods, or imaginary commentaries. So, let's see. What I'm going to try and do is I know it's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita from what I see, but I actually want to get Guru Maharaj's words, not. Chapter 8. Sri Guru in His Grace, chapter 8. Let's see.
Maharaj, it's page 125.
I may have a different edition. Let's see. You see what heading is it under? The breaker. Okay. Okay, here it is. This is Guru Maharaj's words. Although, and first the devotee says, although the disciple should regard the Guru as absolute and of the highest level of spiritual attainment, how should the Guru view his own position? Sridhar Swami wrote, Guru Maharaj says, Sridhar Swami wrote a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. It was a little different from the previous commentary, so the scholars, especially the Shankarites, refused to accept that commentary as universal. They put it to the test. They left the commentary in the temple of Vishwanath, Lord Shiva, and agreed that if he accepted the commentary, they would all accept. Then from the Shiva temple, this verse was revealed. Ham veti sukho veti, vyaso veti na veti va. The real purpose of the Srimad Bhagavatam, let's see how long this goes. Okay, it goes on for some time. You see, when I can explain it, but obviously as far as I'm concerned, the most beautiful and complete explanation will come from Srila Guru Maharaj. It's in his book. So I've read Guru Maharaj's explanation, but what I originally was saying that it is at times there are things and commentaries, even we may speak and there may be a flow of some understanding and knowledge that comes through us, but it is not always that our realization will be commensurate with what we are speaking. That doesn't mean we're hypocrites. It just means that we understand that the Guru is said to be the inspired side of the Vaishnava. So especially we will see that for us, divine knowledge is coming to us through our Guru. And I feel that because I have the backing of my acharyas. Does that mean that I can present or I'm equal to them? No, of course not. And this is something I was trying to say. It's something I actually been trying to say for a long time. But people can't understand that we may be followers of Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj, and also Srila Prabhupada, and others may be in the line, maybe in their line, and they may be worshipped as Sri Guru, as Gurudev. And I've been trying to explain to people that that doesn't mean that there's a level of equality. But I'm not trying to, I don't do that with my acharyas. I don't do that with Guru Maharaj, Govinda Maharaj, and Prabhupada. I don't try to see who is the greatest and who isn't, because I think there is a comment of Guru Maharaj that there is no such thing as a small guru. So sometimes I see, for instance, that persons are saying that their guru, they may be disciples of this person or that person. They say they're guru, but in some cases, because we're going on with the linear progression of time, they're persons that may not even have known, they definitely may not have known Guru Maharaj. They may not have even known Govinda Maharaj. They're persons, to know Govinda Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj left this world in 2010. We're now 2023. So obviously anybody who's 13 years of age or younger couldn't possibly have known Guru Maharaj. But what about somebody who's 20 years of age? He might have, then he was what was he? Was 7 when Govinda Maharaj left? He might have even taken initiation from Srila Govinda Maharaj. But does he know Govinda Maharaj? Well, maybe in his heart he knows Govinda Maharaj. Maybe he has that kind of inspiration. How about somebody who's 25? 25, they might have met Govinda Maharaj when they were what, 12? So then what I'm saying is there are persons who didn't really know of the understanding, of course it's not based on age, but they may not have known very much of Srila Govinda Maharaj. But at the same time, they'll say, my guru is all in all. And generally to those persons who say that, I don't try to argue with them or demean their understanding, because our purpose is to increase faith, not to diminish faith. So somebody has full faith in his guru, even if they're a little unreasonable and even fanatic, I still try to encourage them as long as they don't get brutal about the whole thing. But you understand what I'm saying? And this verse is saying that there is understanding and knowledge that may flow through a person. Like, imagine Vedavyas who's writing all the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he may know or may not know. I mean, it's flowing through him. It's coming through him. Now, of course, there's the story of, Ganesh, who's the compiler of the Vedas, the scribe of the Vedas. And, he can't, it's hard for him to keep up with Vedavyas, who's dictating the Vedas. So then Ganesh says, you only speak what you can understand. And then, so that gives Ganesh a little kind of, you might say, a little time where he can compose himself. Maybe, eat whatever elephants eat, maybe eat a plate of whatever. What's the food of elephants? I don't know. Plants. They just grab a whole bush or a whole tree, take the leaves and eat them. So maybe Ganesh, but Ganesh, maybe he eats regular bhoga, I don't know. But in any case, it gives him a little time while Vedavyas is speaking, because Ganesh says, you only say what you have understood. Then I'll write it down. That's the understanding, right? Because the Vedas are very vast. Ganesh has a lot of work, and he needs a little, it's not just according to Vyasadev's schedule, it's also according to Ganesha's schedule. In any case, the indication is that there are times when Vedavyas is considering, and then he'll speak, and then Ganesh is writing. But we also hear that after speaking the Vedas, he was reprimanded. He was reprimanded. Vedavyas was reprimanded by, is it Narad? Narad Muni came to him and reprimanded him and said, you've spoken so many subjects in there, and we'll say much of the Vedas deal with these subjects of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Religious responsibility. Dharma, artha. Artha is, making a living, sustaining oneself. Dharma, artha, kama, enjoyment, regulated enjoyment. To religious enjoyment, but within the boundaries of religious life. We heard, I'm not going to speak about that aspect because I don't want to get into irreverence. So I'm not going to speak about kama and moksha. The normal understanding of moksha is liberation, but not always with a context of devotional understanding. Although in the Bhagavad Gita, it's what is the verse? Brahma bhuta prashanatmana shochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. That is Brahma bhuta prashanatmana shochati na kankshati. When there's an understanding of Brahman or spirit or knowledge, Brahma bhuta prashanatmana shochati na kankshati. There's no lamentation and no longing, or material desires. Nashochatina kangshati, because sometimes in our life we're influenced by tamagun, and we may be lamenting, oh, I lost, and kangshati, and then we're rise to the platform of Rajagun. I want. No, it's Sochatina Kankshati, Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. And then when you can deal with all living entities with some equanimity, Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. In other words, when you rise to the Brahma Bhuta platform, then your devotional service will begin. Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. In other words, devotional service is beyond even what we refer to in mundane languages as liberation. But this is normal, the normal topics of the Vedas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And then Narada came to Vedavyas and said, you've confused everybody because you've not really presented what is the true understanding of what is the real essence, who's the Lord, what is the relationship with the Lord, what is devotional service. You haven't really concisely presented these things. And so, as a commentary on all the Vedas, you have the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, it will present you can say a commentary on the Vedas, because Brahma, Brahma was, although it says what is the verse in Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Brahma Bhuta Prashanatmana Shoja. No, that's not the verse. Where it starts, Om Namo Bhagavate. What is the verse? First verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm thinking. I just need the first word. Let's see. And it's
Janmadashayataha.
Brahma Bhuta Prashanatmana Shoja. No, that's back to my.
Janmadashayataha, Maharaj.
Yes. So tell me the first word.
Janmadashayataha.
No.
No?
Maybe you're saying it, but I'm not hearing it so well. I'll tell you in a minute. Yes. Video. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadi Yashaya Tom Vayadita Ratas Chartishva Vigyasvarat Tene Brahma Rida Ya Adikavaye Muyanti Surya. So that's the Tene Brahma Rida Ya Adikavaye. So Adikavaye refers to Lord Brahma. And Tene Brahma Ya Adikavaye Muyanti Surya. Brahma refers to spiritual understanding. So the Lord first revealed Vedas, and we can say to Lord Brahma within his heart. He was born into, you can say, a dark universe, and he didn't have so much understanding. Then the Lord revealed everything to him, and we're saying that Brahma is one of the 4 preceptors. But as far as that knowledge goes, you have Veda Vyas presenting the Vedas, but at the same time, you have him chastised by Narad Muni for confusing people, because you've got them so preoccupied with ordering their mundane life that they don't understand what is the essence of the Vedas, which is about the Lord and devotional service. And that's what you have to present. And there you'll find in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 90 chapters, you have the whole pastimes of Lord Krishna. And everything of the Lord's appearance is there, very beautifully presented. At the same time, you have 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is said, I believe, where is it? Bhakti Vinod Thakur in his English commentary on the Vedas. He says that the Srimad Bhagavatam represents the compendium of all Hindu thought. Maybe I'm using my old words, sir, but in other words, what is the vast understanding of so many things, and these may not all be essential tenets. It may not be essential points. Everything is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam without a guru, as Srila Govindamar says, you can't read the Srimad Bhagavatam without a guru teaching you and understand it. Not possible. So what was his comment? What was his comment? What was Govindamar's comment about how to deal with that? He says, you can read, this was what he told us. He said, you can read the Srimad Bhagavatam, but you must read every verse of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam and the commentaries, he said, of Srila Prabhupada. At least, I mean, you have to have some guidance in reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. And there are so many points of the Srimad Bhagavatam that can be, they're so esoteric. How will you understand them? I forget, what's the person read about one person that during such a period of time, he's a woman, the other period of time, he's a man. Do you know about that? That's one of the things in Srimad Bhagavatam. I mean, there are things that you read them, you go, what? What's going on here? You know, I mean, you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, you must be guided in reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is also the guidance of the Srimad Bhagavatam? There's a statement in the Chaitanya Charitamrita introduction, I think by Prabhupada, he says the Chaitanya Charitamrita presents a percolation of all the knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Does anybody, I know that generally speaking, you know, we don't take any kind of intoxication. So I know most of the persons here, they neither drink coffee or tea. But does anyone even remotely remember the taste of coffee? So if you do, then you can understand that there is some kind of coffee that, I mean, in the old days before they invented condensed coffee, which is the coffee has been condensed to its very essential taste in condensed coffee, right? What do they call it? Is that the name, condensed coffee? So with condensed coffee, you've eliminated what was the more ancient way of presenting coffee, which was the coffee would be percolated. And percolated, you have a percolator, and each time it boils and goes through the whole percolation process, it becomes more stronger and stronger and stronger. And I understand that you don't have to do that anymore because it's all been reduced and refined to the very premium taste of condensed coffee. Is that not correct? Right? Gaurachandra, you of course, being a Venezuelan, or persons like Radharani from Colombia, they would never drink coffee, but they know that there's no need to percolate it anymore because you can get all that just by drinking condensed coffee, isn't it?
A friend of mine told me a lot about it, but I don't know much about it.
Okay. But
yeah, but it's true. It's exactly like that.
It's true. People from Colombia and Venezuela, they're enchanted by condensed coffee, isn't it?
Yeah, I have heard about it. I really have no experience.
Yeah, all right. But you don't have to percolate it anymore. You just stir in a teaspoon of Nestle's condensed coffee, right?
Yes, you have the capsules. Really,
and that's the primo coffee.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, percolation, I think the words are that the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam has been percolated and presented. And what that means is there are some subjects in the Srimad Bhagavatam that we might say, they're there because, as Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, the Srimad Bhagavatam presents, as a general compendium of of everything that's known in so-called Hinduism is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but not always intelligible by a person. And then what can we say about the speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam? He's already been reprimanded by Narada for not always speaking on what is the essential, the essence of what is Vedic knowledge, which is the service to the Lord. I mean, that you have that Brahma Bhuta Prashanatmana Shochati Nakankshati. No, I already said that verse. The verse is, what is the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam? I'm getting into a loop. The verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is where it says, Haitukiya Pradiyat Yayatma Suprasidati. What is the beginning of that? It says,
Savai Pumsam Parodharmo.
Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adhoksaje Haitukiya Pradiyatma Yayatma Suprasidati. Okay. Say that beginning again. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adhoksaje. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adhoksaje. And what's next?
Ahoituki apratiyata.
Huh?
Ahoituki apratiyata.
Haituki Pradiyat Yayatma Suprasidati. That will completely satisfy you. Brahma Buddha, that is Savaipum Samparo Dharmo, to establish a loving relationship with the Lord. And Savaipum Samparo Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adhoksaje. And then there's also a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam which describes that what is it? That where it says, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adhoks. And what's the verse where it says that it is a haituki Yapradiyat Yayatma Haituki Ram Vaipum Samparo Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Oksaje. And what is the verse that says Kaitabotra Paramo Nir Matsaranam Satam? How's that verse begin? Because
Dharma Projita Kaitavotra.
Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nir Matsaranam Satam. Vedyam Vastava Matravastu Shivadam Tapo Trayon Mulanam. I'm misquoting that. I'm saying it wrong, the last two lines, but that is what is it? How's that begin again? First two words.
Dharma Projita Kaitavotra.
Dharma, okay, Dharma Projita Kaitavotra. So there's so many things that are kaitava, they're cheating, they're actually cheating. People present them in terms of they're supposedly speaking about spiritual topics, but the Srimad Bhagavatam rejects what is called cheating religion. And what can we say is cheating? Well, you might say Dharma, Dharma, Kama, Moksha, no, Dharma,
Artha.
Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. You might say that is cheating religion. Why should we be concerned with our livelihood? Why should we be concerned with the external understanding of religion when in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Sarva Dharmam Parityajam Sharanamjaya. You're supposed to reject that kind of formality of religion, do this, do that. Hey, Shugi, 1 second. Shugi.
Are you on your Zoom?
Yeah, I'm on my
It's
Zoom,
okay, yeah.
but
Take your time, I'll be here.
yeah, can you just measure the
Yeah.
the output of that? Hello, Theo.
I'll be around.
There's Theo. Can we show him on the Zoom? Bring Theo in here. And they walking by the window, Shugi's here. And I just wanted to say hello to him. And he brought his youngest son named Theo, who is named after me, he's very, what would you say?
Mischievous.
Very mischievous, this boy. His name is Theo. Yeah, no. You can put him down on the floor if he likes. I don't care if he breaks anything. It doesn't matter to me. He will. He's very nice. Theo. Shugi's first son, he's like 7 now, right? Ranajit,
Yeah.
Ranajit, who's named after Shugi's elder brother who passed away. Ranajit, who's 7, Ranajit's born and he looks, because Shugi's wife Lalita's from Mexico, and Shugi is from Sanatani's son, one of the 7 Kirkmans, right? 8 Kirkmans. Okay, so Ranajit looks like someone from Coco, the story about the Mexican boy who played the guitar and everything. He looks like that. And Theo, you wouldn't know they're brothers. Theo, his red hair, a ginger, and very fair looking skin, but extremely mischievous, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, I really like this boy. He's named after me in one sense. I gave him the name Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu. I named him in honor of Yudamanyu. I gave him the name Abhimanyu. So.
Okay, we won't disturb your Zoom.
Okay.
We'll be walking around. So.
Okay. And so you're going to measure that
Yeah.
the total output from what? Do we have a here up on there? Let me have it just for 1 second. Let me have one of those. There's a suite up there, I think behind the avocados or something, and maybe behind the avocados. Oh, let's see. Does he here? Here, let me get this orange one. Looks good. Okay. You give that to him, he'll unwrap it. He'll eat it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And these were Yev's left their day by Gaurachandra. They're his cars. Okay. Okay, good.
Okay, Mark.
All right. So I was saying this, the Bhagavad Gita says, Sarvadharmam parityaja. You're supposed to reject that kind of so-called formalized religion or dharma that concerns itself with killing infidels and all those other kind of things that religious fanatics do because they have no understanding of anything, right? And I'm not naming anybody by their religion. I'm just naming a type of people who, don't understand anything, and they accept their religion as fanatically and interpret it completely wrong. So it says Sarvadharmam parityaja. You can forget that. You don't really need that. But generally, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, these are the things that the Srimad Bhagavatam says are rejected. In other words, what Veda Vyas concerned himself in the 4 Vedas, generally speaking. So, but then now we have Lord Shiva saying that, okay, what is the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam? What Narad Muni asked that Veda Vyas would present, he says, I understand that essence. And also Sukadeva Goswami, who understood it so well that he could present it to Maharaj Parikshit in the last 7 days of his life and get it right, obviously, because Sukadeva Goswami, from his very birth, had no interest in anything, but when he heard some woodsman citing verses given from the Srimad Bhagavatam by Veda Vyas, said, my son is out there somewhere, just say these verses, etc. When he heard those verses, heard that, I don't know what the exact verse is, but then he came back and heard Srimad Bhagavatam from his father, Veda Vyas, and obviously got it so right that he could present it in its true essence to, the Srimad Bhagavatam. He could speak it to Maharaj Parikshit in the last 7 years of his life. 7 days of his life, when he had been cursed by this Brahman boy. I don't remember his name. Shringi. Little Shringi. He cursed him to be bit by a snake bird named, I believe, Tarksha, who later went to Mexico and took up the name of Quetzalcoatl. And he's on the Mexican flag, because there's, I think on the Mexican flag, there's an eagle sitting, what is he sitting on, a cactus plant or something like that? Is there a cactus plant on the Mexican flag? But the eagle eating a snake, persons say that is an adaptation of the understanding of Quetzalcoatl, who was from the ancient Aztec understanding, and we would say perhaps a transfiguration of Shringi, right? But Quetzalcoatl, snake bird. Anyway, Mara, that's beside the point. The real point is that Sukadeva Goswami could enlighten the Maharaj Parikshit with the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he understands it. And Shiva could understand it. He's a Mahajan. He's a preceptor also. And sometimes Vedavyas could understand it well enough that it was flowing through him, and it could be transcribed by, Ganesh? I don't know if Ganesh was still writing at that time, but it was presented as Srimad Bhagavatam. But the Srimad Bhagavatam is, we can say, oh, it's beyond the Vedas. It's the essence. It's the beginning of, we can say, the Gayatri mantra is there from the, not in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but is of that essential nature of the Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't want to misquote Guru Maharaj when he talks about that. But the Srimad Bhagavatam won't be understood by somebody unless they're really enlightened. And where does our enlightenment of the Srimad Bhagavatam come? Well, obviously it's not coming so much from me, but it is coming from Guru Maharaj. It is coming from our acharyas. They'll give us the understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. And you could say, so we could say that this Srimad Bhagavatam, it can be understood by the Mahabhagavatas. And certainly we could say, well, isn't Vedavyas like on the level of a Mahabhagavata? I don't want to get myself involved in some discussion that I can't really adequately speak. But I'll just say that when you understand what Lord Shiva is saying, then you can also understand what the position of Vedavyas is. It's not to demean him. It's just like to present what is the real nature of what is coming through him. And then we can also say, what is coming through us? Obviously I can speak something, I can get something right, but I need some of you to give me the first word of this verse or that verse. But I understand something of the verses that I'm quoting. I'm just, not always cognizant of everything. I can't, things that I did know or memorize before, I can't remember all of them because I don't use them all the time. I don't use them every day. So So, Devashis, how are you today? And who is with you today? Huh?
My wife.
Yeah, this is one of the first time. Huh?
Maharaj.
This is one of the first times I've seen you. Today you're not working, huh?
No, I just came from an appointment.
Are you going to go with us to Spain?
I will try. I would like to go.
Then all three sisters could be together, right?
Yes.
Then that's good. So, and Devashis is going, he should pay for your ticket.
Yeah, I'm a rich man, Maharaj.
Are you, but you're going to Spain?
No, Maharaj, I'm not.
Not.
No.
How about if I come disguised as Madhusudan Maharaj, then will you go?
No, Maharaj, I would be very happy to go, but I'm not a rich man. We're not. We are very poor people now. I've become a beggar.
Oh, I know somebody rich there who runs a restaurant, takes in thousands every day. Is that true?
Silence.
Huh?
I heard
Okay.
he died in a car crash, Maharaj.
What? What does he say?
He said he heard he died in a car crash.
Oh, in a car crash. All right. Well, then I'll have to ask his widow.
Go with the widow. She's rich. She can do it. She have all the inheritance money. She can do it.
Well, what do you think? Where is Saraswati today? Oh, who's there in West London? Who is that in?
Anjali Didi Maharaj.
I don't know.
Well, how come Anjali's there and there's no Saraswati?
Saraswati went packing for tomorrow.
I came in to pay my Dandavats. I didn't even realize that there was a Zoom with you, Maharaj. And so I just came and then I saw I sit for a while. I'm late and I'm in my outside, attire.
When are you flying?
Out there. So
When are
When are you flying?
Oh, we fly tomorrow. Tomorrow we have to be at the airport at 11 and we fly at 2. So we're here till 11. I don't think Saraswati realized if she thought you were on Zoom, she'd probably have come in, but I know she's involved in Beer Chandra's just come or something, So she would have come, I'm sure, if she realized. So this is the thing. So tomorrow we're flying. Tomorrow we're doing flying. And all the things on the way, whatever they may be.
What is that?
Oh, I don't know.
When?
To sort something out on the way, maybe. Like that. But I look forward to seeing you and Asha Maharaj in Surubi Kunj, I think, is it? Wednesday is Nariha Maharaj, is it? I don't know. So we'll be coming to Navadvip and we're going to Vrindavan for 2 weeks. And then coming to Navadvip. And then, of course, we'll find you. And hopefully do parikrama with you.
With me,
Yes, one.
do parikrama.
I hope to do, if my legs will take me around again.
Yeah. So you're going to be staying in which island?
We're staying in Navadvip.
Huh?
You know, we're staying in, I've forgotten which one. Is this Saraswat? No. I thought it might have been that. I'm not sure exactly, but.
Surabi Kunj, they're staying at Surabi Kunj.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
They're staying at Surabi Kunj at the center there of Avadut Maharaj and Surabi Kunj.
I don't know.
I'm
I don't
sure where.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I know it's there somewhere.
I know Saraswati organized something,
Okay.
and we're together, so.
I mean, we'll be staying nearby. We're staying in Swarupganj, or, which is another name for, not Surabi Kunj, but it's a name for, what is the island?
No.
Drumadvip, right? Drumadvip. But when I think of Surabi Kunj, that's where he stayed last time. We did in a Gaudiya Math temple of Avadut Maharaj. He's from the Gaudiya Math. Nimai Chandra stayed there or stays there. I don't know if he's going to be staying there anymore, but it was very nice. It was very beautiful, very nice in that temple of Surabi Kunj. This time we're going to be, I think, Nirya Maharaj has rented some rooms and we'll stay in those rooms. So when I come to London, actually, I'm not going to be taking have with me a computer or an iPad or anything of value. I'm just, I'll have this, I'll just have an Android tablet with me, an old one. Because I think things will be a little uncertain when we get to India. I'll visit Tarakeshwar, and then I'll go to Godrumadvip, and I think we'll be near Anjali and everyone there. We'll be near you, and from there it's a good point to go on parikrama, because we'll be, right across the river. That's the Jalangi River, right across the Jalangi from Mayapur, right across the, Bhagirati, which is the Ganga from Navadvip. Last time I went, which I went this year in May, no, in 2022, it seems like this year. It's the same year according to the Vaishnav calendar. Went there in May, and I visited to the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, because I wanted to take darshan of Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar, the deities, and the samadhi of Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj. Went there. And luckily, when I went there, I didn't see any of the people that I didn't want to see. The only people I saw, because I don't even want to mention them by name. I could just say Maidan Asko. No, I don't want to mention them by name. And but I did see Bhudev and Kamal Krishna, who I know they're not major deviants. So at least I didn't see any persons I didn't want to see. That was good. And I got darshan, and they gave me darshan of the samadhis, and took me upstairs on Guru Maharaj's veranda and on Govinda Maharaj's veranda. And we honored a little bit of prasadam there. So I didn't, it was, I feel it was kind of the best of all possible worlds in terms of visiting the Math. I got the darshan that I wanted to see, and I didn't have to have the so-called darshan of people I didn't want to see, so it was good. And I don't know, this time, maybe I'll go to the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math for, I'll stop in and give my dandavats and everything with the samadhis and then to the deities. And hopefully that'll do. But Godrumadvip, where we are, it's like a 5-minute boat ride across the Ganga. And to Mayapur, it's a 5-minute boat ride across the Jalangi. You know, it's very easy. So we'll be able to go on parikrama. We'll be able to go on parikrama, and I'm sure Anjali and others, you know, you can get a rickshaw and there'll be no inconvenience. It'll be nice. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm going. I want to be able to, I want to be in Navadip Dham. I want to be able to go to on parikrama. I want to be able to remember, want to see the Math. I want to remember something of what we got there. And now some people say, well, why did you do this? It's just like, if I go to the Math, that's been usurped and taken over. If I go to Hapania, that's been usurped. If I go to Ekachakra, that's also been occupied. If I even wanted to go to Nisringapali, I don't want to, that has been also, you know, taken over. So, all right. Why? All right, we'll have a person there in charge and we'll register our own society and be done with the whole thing. And at least we'll have a place where devotees can go if they want to go to Sri Navadip Dham and they want to go on parikram and take darshan and all that. We'll establish some place there where that can be done. And I think, to me, that's a noble endeavor. You know, I don't have to get into a thematic debate on anyone or what is the qualities of the Param Vaishnava or anything like that. We will have something that will continue at least, you know, I mean, after the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Sharanga Goswami Maharaj, the followers of Goswami Maharaj established somebody as the Acharya, and Guru Maharaj said, no, it should be someone who's a disciple of Bhakti Sharanga Goswami Maharaj. Wasn't there something to that effect that happened? As far as my understanding goes, that's what happened. So in that way we'll have some kind of, we'll have somebody in India who at least can remind us of Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj and also Acharya Maharaj, whatever. But, you know, we'll at least have some semblance of being someone that we think, oh, this is a nice person, this is a nice place to go, etc. That's what I want. Anyway, before I die, I would like to see that. And I'm going to India. I feel very inspired by going to India and going to Bengal. That is my inspiration, to go to Navadip. My inspiration is going there. And I'm not worried about anything. I feel I have enough of Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj in my heart that I feel protected. They can do anything they want. They can do anything they want with me. I don't care. Well, I do care, obviously, I will care, but I feel myself to be protected by them. I'm not concerned about external formalities. I can deal with anything. Why? Because I live in the present. right now I live in the present, you know, and I'm not so concerned about what I'm a foolhardy person, you might say. I'm not concerned about what may come tomorrow. That's not my concern. My concern is let's all go to Sri Navadip Dham. We've been bound up by this bound up by this pandemic. And I'm very thankful. I've always read about the Black Plague and other kinds of plagues, and I never had the experience of living through one. So I got this. I mean, it's not like not like they have horse carts going through the street to pick up the dead and pile them up on the horse cart. No, nowadays they don't do that. They just stick a bunch of tubes down your throat. Is that true? Am I getting too morbid?
No, Maharaj, it's jolly.
Okay, do we have any other questions before I run out of time? Where is it? Here I have. Somebody gave me this. I don't know what it's used for. Does anyone have a clue? This was given to me. I don't think I'll pack it, but does anybody have any idea what this thing is used for?
Picking up litter, I think.
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, I think so.
It looks new. It doesn't look like it's dirty, like it hasn't been previously used for litter.
Sometimes they use that on the stores, Maharaj, the clerics, to pick whatever is very high on the shelf. So they use it to pick whatever they cannot reach. That is not so heavy, of course, like a box or something. They pick it with that.
Oh, do you use these, sir? Do you use these in your restaurant?
No, but I have seen them being used like that. Like the small people, reaching out with that thing, whatever is on the top of the shelf.
You could use this in your shop to give coffee to lepers.
Yeah, they will love it. They definitely will love that. That will be something very well appreciated by the people around.
Yeah, you could just. All right. Serenity, I don't know if I answered adequately that. That the question, what that was
Maharaj?
posed.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, in answering your question, I think you answered my question, which was, sometimes we hear that some devotees say that we shouldn't read the Srimad Bhagavatam, and some devotees even haven't read the Bhagavatam because they think we shouldn't read it. But I feel that your answer for the other question answered that question.
I personally, if somebody hasn't read the Srimad Bhagavatam, I would say they should read it because it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's so beautiful, I mean, you could say, well, everything's there. No, the 10th canto is all about Krishna, but the first canto is incredibly beautiful. First canto is so beautiful and so many beautiful verses and it's just wonderful. The second canto also, has such nice comments, like, what is the verse about the, I'm trying to think that, I mean, there is very, there's nice verses in the second canto about Griha maidens who spend all their time, I don't know. The birds are asking, what is that verse about? The birds are asking questions, all the do you know that verse? I mean, I remember when in the last months of Srila Prabhupada's presence, he had a program in, I believe it was Bombay, and he couldn't even stand up. He was lying down, and he had his disciples reading from the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it was all, these verses, I can't quote them, but I could before, but some of them, they're so, talking about the day, the Griha, how persons spend their days doing this and their nights doing that, and then they come home and just for a little bit of sex life, and that's their, Prabhupada had his devotees reading that, and he was lying there, and the questions and answers that came after that on the basis of the second canto were so incredible. Like, one huge man, very tall man said, well, so why are you reading this about, if I trying to remember the context. He's saying they read about, grihastras and wasting their lives, and then this man said, and then someone works hard and they come home and they want to enjoy a little family life with their wife, and why is this being deprecated? Why is it so, and then Srila Prabhupada, he kind of sat up and he said, well, perhaps you think that is all there is in life. Perhaps you like that kind of life. You're saying you like that kind of life. And then Prabhupada looked very sad. He said, but I myself, I'm thinking that this is not all there is to life. This is, and he looked so sad. And then the man was so taken by Prabhupada's countenance that he said, I agree. And then Prabhupada said, then agree, then why disagree? Now sit down. It's just such a conclusion. And then one woman said, well, Swamiji, isn't yoga so taxing? And then Prabhupada said, lady, you're already being taxed in so many ways. Why not be taxed for something useful? Her question was about yoga, and then there was a student who, I can't remember everything, but it was like Prabhupada, having the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I think that maybe the 5th chapter, some verses, I don't remember which chapter, but it was just like so beautiful. And then the questions, it's around the question, in other words, these verses are so heavy. They're so heavy about material life that the whole audience was, members of brought out the true colors of certain members of the audience. And then it was questioned by one of the students who was a student who was really riled up. Oh, if I could, I'd have to compile my thoughts. So is that Saraswati? Now she's joined us. After 2 hours have gone by, now she comes in for the last 5 minutes to bid us adieu. Now she's come. And you're traveling. Traveling tomorrow?
Yes, I'm just getting everything ready.
You're skipping out before I get there. I'll be there. I'll be there in an empty temple, right?
No, Maharaj is fully packed now. It's fully booked. So many devotees are coming to see you.
Is that true?
Yes, it is true. So almost we have to send others to accommodation outside. So yeah, I'm not indispensable. There is so many wonderful devotees there waiting for you.
Who?
Well, look, you have there Lavanya Mayi, the resident devotees, Krishna Gopal, Radharani Dasi, Navagaurangi, Sachi Didi, Pandita, Krishna Kishore, Lakshmi Kanti Didi, Krishna Gaura Chandra, Falguni, Ananta Govinda, Devashis Prabhu is there, Ishanuga. They all will see you, Maharaj. Plus more, Tota Gopinath is coming to see you. And many others. Veera Chandra will be there, maybe, yes. And Krishna Karuna Sundari and Nitai Chand and her son.
Will we go to Gaurachandra's cafe?
Davanya Mayi will be the driver. And Devashis Prabhu, they both can drive.
Devashis, does Ishanuga make you coffee?
No,
No, but you don't drink coffee, right?
no, not maybe if I'm at the airport or something, I might have a mocha, but not generally. I don't know.
Does Ishanuga, does she drink coffee?
No.
If we are traveling.
Saraswati, do you drink coffee?
No, Maharaj, I don't drink coffee since 16.
Does Krishna Mohini drink coffee?
Yes, she does. We come from a coffee plantation family. So we have real coffee.
Does Subhadra drink coffee?
No. Is there this one? Yeah. I forgot to send it.
All right. Anyway, that only came up because I remember that line that says the Chaitanya Charitamrita percolates the knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam. But I will soon see you. So I'm going to end here before I get in more trouble.
Jai Maharaj.
Dandava Maharaj.
Janardan Maharaj.
Somebody see Saraswati.
Yes.
Oh, I know Ishanuga works, but see if she can go with us to Spain.
Ah. She's the Spanish in the Spanish speaking section.
Well, the reason I'm saying is going to be you and Mohini. We should have Ishanuga there too.
Uh-huh. The three musketeers.
Well, I don't think nobody uses a musket anymore. They use an AK-47 or something.
Maybe depending on her work, if she can get the time off.
Yeah, it would be good.
Depending on the cash.
This time I'm only going to be there for 4 or 5 days. You know, one thing that really I just noticed, I'll be with Ashram Maharaj. I'll be with Ashram Maharaj and in London, and then I go to Delhi on the 21st. I get there the 22nd at midnight or 1 o'clock, and then. But you know what day? You know what is the 22nd? The 22nd of February, according to this calendar. Let me just see here.
Ashram Maharaj's parents' day.
Which I mean, I really was kind of double crossed.
Mm.
I was really kind of double crossed because Ashram Maharaj actually was born on the 8th of March. But according to the calculations of and they're correct, of the Vedic calendar or whatever, the Vaishnav calendar, I should say, his appearance day is on the 22nd. So maybe since he's going to be in London, we could have maybe some kind of celebration before we leave on the 20th, because I kind of overlooked that, and I'm not going to be with Ashram Maharaj on the 22nd. I feel like, what have I
Aren't you
done?
both going together?
What?
Aren't you both flying together?
No, we're on different airlines.
Oh,
And I was going to Sandeep's house on the 20th.
We
20.
look at the flights with Virgin Atlantic, but they were like 2,000 pounds for going to India. So we end up buying with another airline.
Oh, okay. That's completely understandable. Did you already get it? Did you already get his ticket?
Yes, of course, a long time ago. But we did look at the option of for you to travel together, but it was extremely expensive.
Yeah.
So like that was the only option for that day.
Yeah, in my mind, it was either between Virgin Atlantic and United, so it was no contest.
Can go to that on the 20th.
it's Monday. Isn't it?
It was
Yeah, we could fly on
Virgin Atlantic or flying with United. Their planes are from the 19th century. United. So, okay, Subhasini, how are you?
Dandavats Maharaj. Yes, I'm good, Maharaj. Yeah, thank you.
You're looking well. That's good.
Thank you.
Will you be in London?
I'll be when you come back from India in March.
Okay, that's good. Very good.
I'm trying to. I still have to get my visa and my ticket, but I hopefully.
You need a visa for London?
Yes, Mara. I'm still on the Indian passport, so I have to get a visa. So.
But you have residency in Ireland, right?
Yeah, residency in Ireland, but still need a visa unless I have Irish.
It's outrageous. In England, you need for somebody with a residency from Ireland needs a visa to go to England. It's not like they don't consider Ireland something of a brother state or something.
Yeah.
No wonder the Irish are revolting. You know, I'm not saying they're revolting. I'm just saying they were.
If I get an Irish passport, then it will be easier. Then I don't need it. But if I still on the Indian passport, so still.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see all of you soon.
Yeah.
Next week, I know. Maybe next week I'll do a Zoom. We'll see. Or maybe it'll be a short Zoom.
Okay, March.
Okay.
I'll say.
Connect before then to check.
All right. My dandavats to all of you.
Dandavats Maharaj.
Jai Shri Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai.
Please don't take my offense. All right. Dandavat.
Dandavats.
Hare Krishna.